Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to SimAirport. I hope you're having a good one because I'm excited to be back. And I want to start today by talking about something that's a little bit different between this episode and the last one. And this is something that threw me off a little bit when I loaded up this save file, and you might be able to see it already. The characters look different. In that first episode, I'm almost certain that we were using the legacy sprites, which is an option in here in gameplay to turn the characters into these little blobs like you would see in Airport CEO or Prison Architect or RimWorld. And I mean, they look interesting like this, but I am going to be honest, I kind of want to stick with the non-legacy sprites because it just looks a little bit different, even though you don't see them carrying any luggage, which is admittedly a little bit weird. I think it's just interesting. I think it's just kind of cool that they look like this. I don't know which one I prefer, but I'm going to stick with the non-legacy for now because, you know, I might as well. Now, there's a couple of things I want to do today. I want to go ahead and I want to start focusing a little bit more on some of these grants because at the moment, obviously, we are still researching finance, and then we're going to have to get a CFO. We're going to have to take a loan. And that loan is actually going to be really, really useful because it's going to let me build a bunch more stuff. And building stuff is kind of what we need to do. But before we even get there, I want to build some other stuff because security at the moment is doing, well, it's doing okay. It's doing a decent little job, but it could be doing better. And that's kind of what I want security to do. So we're going to go into the build menu. We're going to go to foundations and we're going to build some new bathrooms down here to replace these two. So if we go in, we want the inside of the room to be 4 across. So that right there is perfect. That's 6 by 10. And then this one here is going to be exactly the same. It's going to be 6 by 10, which, yeah. So right about there, that'll be 2 bathrooms down there. We'll get some doors on it once it's constructed. And the idea that I have is we're going to tear out these restrooms, we're going to move security along a little bit, and we're going to double the width of security so it takes up this space right here. Now, obviously, I could avoid doing that. I could take out this restroom as well, and then maybe move it down to sort of the front of the airport itself, maybe move this one as well down to kind of the front as well, if I wanted to. But I would rather expand down here with a couple of restrooms in this space because it puts the restrooms closer to where the passengers are going to be. So that's kind of what we're going to stick with. We're going to stick with putting them down there and hopefully get that work done in no time at all. Then it's going to be a simple job of just clearing out these guys, building the new ones, and going from there. But that's not the only thing I want to be doing. What I also want to be doing is looking into some of the other grants as well. Because there is one here, which is to assign at least 1 rep each to 3 airlines, as well as having 12 flights scheduled and a runway with a wind resistance of 15 knots. Now, we've done 2 of those 3 things. What we've not done is assign a rep to any airlines, and that's actually relatively easy. If we go in here and look at WestJet, I can select a rep up at the top here, and we can have the CTO be a representative for airlines, but the thing with that is that then the CTO will split their time with the airline and with research. So only half of their time by default is going to be on research. So I don't really want to have the CTO or the CFO or any of the actual executives doing representative work for the airlines, even though there are benefits to it. So the CTO, for example, with their advanced knowledge, the airline will be more willing to offer, or sorry, more willing to move towards my suggested offers. So there are benefits to doing that. There are benefits to having the CTO, the CFO, etc. work for the airlines, but I don't think it's good to have those guys doing that now. I think what we do is we get a bunch of research done, and then eventually we can go and say, okay, you're going to represent this airline, you're going to represent that airline. And then once we have everything researched, we can essentially go ahead and say, okay, you guys get me some airline benefits. What I can do, though, is I can go into administration and I can hire sales representatives, and essentially we can just assign a sales rep to an airline. And then if we have a conference room, they will schedule meetings and they will work with the airlines to strike up deals and do all that kind of stuff. So that's something that we will be doing. We're going to need 3 more offices to do that, and I'm thinking the offices will go down this way a little bit, down below baggage claim. But that's sort of priority number 2 for today. Priority number 1 is getting security going, because I also want to go ahead and get another ticketing desk. But I don't think another ticketing desk is going to be a good idea until we upgrade security. So these guys are very, very nearly done with the work that we've got them doing down here. One of the bathrooms is actually done, so let's go ahead and just grab some doors and see what we can do. So one of them goes there, one of them goes there. We're going to need some toilets as well, and we'll just have them sort of line this wall right about here. These guys can line that wall right about there. We're going to need some sinks as well, so we'll grab a whole bunch and just sort of line this wall, and we'll line the other side of it. And that will essentially be the male and female restrooms that the game needs. There isn't actually a unisex one. It doesn't work the same way that Airport CEO does. So we do need the 2 of them right there, and that'll be perfect. We'll get the doors in, we'll get the sinks in, we'll get the toilets in, and then I can go ahead and get rid of those ones. And I think what we'll also do is just go to flooring, and we'll grab something kind of nice for it. What have we got here? We got some nice stone tiles. So let's go ahead and do those right there. And let me also go ahead and do a bit of this this light wood just up here and right there, because I think what you're going to see is a little bit of wood poking out the top of the door, but not underneath it. So it sort of, you know, all lines up nicely with the layout of flooring that I have in there already. So that shouldn't take too long. Those should be up and running in no time at all. And then we can clear these guys out. We can expand and adapt security. We'll get ourselves that extra ticketing desk. And then, actually, thinking about it, have we done this research yet? 25 minutes remaining. Okay, so we're very, very close to being able to get the CFO, which means we're very, very close to being able to get that loan. There we go. Okay. So let me get myself a CFO. They're going to come in. They'll take over that office. And then essentially it's going to be a case of taking a loan and doing a whole bunch of construction. There we go. We have a CFO. If we look at this grant, which is in investments, we need to take a loan. So what are we going to be applying for? We can go up to $2.5 million, which I don't really think I want to do. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we need 2.5 million. 1 million is going to be an estimated interest of 3 to 5%. You know what? I'll take $1 million. We'll apply for $1 million with a 3.75% interest rate. Sure, I'll take it. That's totally fine by me. Now, what's the second thing we have to do here? Pay off any loans, wait for 3 days. I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon. 2 runways. No, we're not going to be doing that. Then the sales rep thing, we might look back to that. What else? What's this one down here? Functional kitchen and cafe. I feel like we probably should do that one. I feel like it would probably be good for the passengers and would probably make them a fair bit happier. But we do have this as well, which is basic finances, which is research and hire a CFO to see the profit screen and then have a positive net profit at the end of a full day, excluding grant income. So let's take that because we already have a CFO. And we'll see how that kind of works out for us. Then again, that's 2 runways. This one is the sales rep. I guess we'll take the sales rep thing since we've done 2 of the 3 things for it. And we'll kind of just let my workers do this. And we'll get the offices down here as soon as the workers are done. In fact, I think what I could probably do... Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let's have a quick look because we do need a conference room for the sales reps to work in. So, requires a fully enclosed space with a door and a minimum size of 4x4. Okay. Okay, and the reception desk is when operated by security, airline visitors can use this to gain access to secure areas. Visitors include those arriving from meetings and conference rooms. Oh! Okay, so we need a reception area for the conference rooms as well. Right. Okay. So that changes things ever so slightly, but that's not too bad. I think what we could probably do is just create a dedicated area for the conference rooms and the sales reps down here. So if we were to go, oh, there is a planning mode in this, isn't there? I'm almost certain there's a planning mode. I'm not 100%. There it is. Planning right there. So let's do planned walls. Here's what my thinking would be, right? So we would have a corridor that sort of comes down here and down here. And then we would make this into a, so this would be a conference room right there. And then I guess what we would do is say that, I guess this guy, 3x3 is maybe a little bit small, but I think that can be an office, that could be an office, and that could be an office. So the planned walls sort of come through this way, and that gives us a conference room right there. We could arguably get two of them. So 5x7 and 5x7 there with some more planned walls kind of this way. That does give us a little space down here that's kind of weird, but that's whatever. So that would work. That would be fine for 3 sales reps. But if we wanted more, then we would need more offices. But I guess we could just expand around later on if we happen to want more. So that's fine for now. As for the reception space, not 100% sure what way I want to do that, but I guess maybe a section of planned wall over. Well, I don't know how well that's going to work actually. Let's see. Let me clear you. Let's do a little section 1, 2, 3 there and there. And I guess we could do a reception desk there. And then this wall would go away and they sort of go around down the corridor. I guess that would be all right. If a little bit weird. That is definitely, yeah, that is a little bit weird. But I think it'll do. It kind of keeps everything nicely separated. It gives us room for those desks in the middle. And if I search for conference desks, they don't fit perfectly in there, annoyingly. But they do fit. And then we have these large ones as well, which also don't fit perfectly, but they do fit. So I think that's probably okay, unless I make the conference rooms a bit bigger. Which I guess I could do if I wanted these larger desks, but I think that's all right. So I think that's kind of what we're going to do. So we'll say that we're going to have a door, I guess, there and there. That'll be the entrances. And then for these guys, it's a door there, there, and there. This could potentially be a sliding door as well. So maybe that is what we do. Maybe that's kind of the layout that we go for. I suppose. I mean, I guess it would work, although I'm also slightly tempted to do this and then clear this guy out so those walls actually line up nicely. But then what would we do with the reception desk? I guess maybe the reception desk could go right about there. So you kind of come in, you go to reception, then you walk back out. I guess that would work. Still a little bit weird. Still definitely a little bit weird, but I think that's okay. I think that's fine. You kind of go to reception, you go around, you do your thing. So that'll work. That's my thinking for this new area. So let's go ahead and get it built and see if I can actually make this work. So in terms of foundation, what we're doing is that's going to be a room, and that's going to be a room. That's going to be a hallway, and then that's a room. That's a room, and that's a room as well. In terms of zones, we need to say that this is no longer going to be a zone. And then we go back to construction. We do some walls. So we go here, here, and, well, we can't do that. We need to get rid of you first, which I'm going to just very quickly prioritize. Then go back into wall right there. Then if I go to reception, we need visitor reception as a dedicated zone. We're going to need a reception desk right about there. And I guess what we do is we go for some office furniture. Can I do it ahead of time? No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. What about some windows? What if I was to put like a window, say there. I don't know if I can do it while there's no walls, but I guess that's all right. And in terms of doors, we'll just do a nice sort of sliding door there with some single doors kind of dotted the whole way through here. And we'll see if that works. In fact, I wonder if I could get away with a sliding door right there as well. We'll see if that works. We'll see if that actually ends up being secure, but that should be fine for that entire area. The restrooms are also done, which is lovely. So we'll get this whole thing built. We'll get this particular government grant done. Then what we can do, which we absolutely need to do, is expand security and get another ticketing desk. And I might even get some ticketing kiosks. so that people can check themselves in, because we have so many people trying to get through here that we really do need to, we just need to improve things. That's kind of the priority, is just improving things. And speaking of improving things, I wonder, we have 6 workers. Let's go up to 10 of them just to see if we can maybe get this done that little bit faster, because I feel like we're about to get into a lot of construction. So I feel like getting more workers and getting construction done that little bit faster, it's going to be good. And there we go. Honestly, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. We have the reception up here. We have the little hallway. We have the offices and the conference rooms. So I don't know that we can necessarily afford to hire a bunch more staff, because at the moment my balance isn't actually all that good. But I'm thinking I'm going to, because we have $900,000. So we're going to take this chance. They're $125 per hour. So this is, what is that, $375 per hour for the 3 of them, with a $5,000 fee up front, or is that the 5,000? Yeah, 5,000 up front for each of them. But that'll be some reps going into each of those offices. They should be getting dropped off, which they absolutely are. So there we go. We've got our sales reps. So what I can do is go back to flight management, and I can sort by small, and we can have just a little bit of a look and see what exactly we're dealing with. Now hold on a minute. This is only, okay. So I need to sort by number of flights scheduled is what I need here, because what I'm thinking we do is we go ahead and we set a rep with Aerotime, since we have 5 flights scheduled, and Pacific Airlines, since we have 5 flights scheduled, and then I guess just WestJet as well. So what we'll do is we'll set 1 rep for WestJet. We'll set a rep for Aerotime as well. And then what we can do is set a rep for Pacific Airlines as well. So that should be 3 reps for 3 airlines. The grant has been completed. It absolutely has. Next is load 10 planes with a functioning outdoor baggage system, build 2 large or XL aircraft gates, and increase the overall airline interest to 70%. Oh boy. That's a lot. That is a lot to be getting done. Okay, well, we're not going to worry too much about that for the time being, because my priority right now is going to be to go to zones, and it's going to be to clear out these guys completely. And then it's going to be construction and dismantle everything in those bathrooms. Just tear them apart, get rid of them, force people into the new ones, and then we'll get the new security area in here, as well as some upgrades to ticketing, so that we can hopefully get people through here that little bit quicker. So let's go ahead and put the floor down, since we have that lovely blue carpet right there. And then we'll go into zones, we'll go to security, and we're just going to expand the existing security zone so that my upgrades don't actually interfere with the security throughout the airport. So hopefully, there we go, we get all this done and done. There we go. So now if I start looking for security, now here's the thing. We do have remote security stations and remote bag scanners, but to use those, and this is something that slightly threw me off when I first figured this out. To use those, we actually need to research advanced security. So this unlocks the ability to assign ID check stands to baggage scanners and baggage scanners, etc. It basically allows us to use the remote stations despite the fact that we can already build them, which is a bit weird. But I guess that's whatever. What I do want to do, though, is I'm going to get the basics going. So we're going to start working on construction and then operations, just so we can get the other executives in here. And we're going to keep security relatively simple. So what we'll do is we'll get a metal detector. We'll get ourselves a bag scanner. We'll get another metal detector. And we'll get ourselves another bag scanner. So all we're going to be doing, essentially, is doubling the capacity that I could put another metal detector down here. I'm not going to do that, though, because I think it might block people trying to get out of the airport. I'm not 100% sure. All I'm going to really do here is just double the capacity that we have for security. So we're going to put a little passport checkpoint just about there and there, or an ID checkpoint. And once all that's built, we can go ahead and we can essentially say that we want to dismantle these guys. So all of this is getting dismantled. Those guys are going to move over, and we're now going to have need for an additional 3 security officers, which we can go ahead and do right there. They'll come in, they'll start working that security space, and if I go to zones, I can say there's no security zone there. And there we go. We've doubled the capacity of security, which is letting people through kind of nicely. And that's exactly what we want to be doing. So I'm also going to clear out the security zone right there as well, and also there just to keep it kind of tidy. And I also want to do some queues is what I want to do. So the way I think I'm going to do this is, let's see, let's do something like this, and let's do something like this, so that they both go right up to the passport or the ID checks, and this space down here is nice and clear for people getting out. I think that's probably fair enough. And then what we do is assign you to that queue. We grab you right there, if I can, and assign you to that queue. And that should just make security that little bit easier to deal with. It should be a little bit less chaotic, and people should be able to get through in a good amount of time. There are people here, though, who do have some complaints. You've missed your flight, for example. So let's get ourselves another ticketing desk right there. Let's get ourselves another queue as well for the ticketing desks. And then what I'm going to do as well is go back into ticketing, and I'm going to put a bunch of these ticketing kiosks here. I think we just sort of line this wall with them, and that might be all right. I could do them down here as well. I could even do them over here. Actually, over here by security is probably not a bad place for them. That's really probably not the worst place at all for them. So you sort your ticket and you just go straight through. I think that's what we're going to do. These things are 1,900 each, but that's probably all right. We'll do 4, and we'll do 8 of them. And then we'll go and do some decor and just make the place look a little bit nicer around them. So we'll grab just a few plants and a couple of plants, and that should be fine. I imagine that's going to make the airport that little bit busier, but hopefully good things happen. I think we're also going to need another member of staff, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure. Yep, one more hired. So these things are done. We've got people going through security. We've got the extra ticketing desk working as well. Security is not really holding too many people up. There are some that are sort of being held up. I wonder if more ID checkpoints would be an idea. Because actually, no, it'd be metal detectors that we need. Because the metal detectors seem to be the hold up on security there, don't they? I wonder if extending security to be horizontal and kind of bringing people down would be a better bet. I think for now, this is fine, though. I don't think we're seeing too much of an issue. I don't think we're going to see that many delays. I do think we should probably get ourselves a couple of benches, though. I think another little bench right there, and maybe there, and maybe there would be an idea. It is getting a little bit cramped in the terminal, but I think that's probably for the best. I'm noticing there's still quite a few people just sort of standing around, so giving them somewhere to sit will probably keep them kind of happy. And a good number of people getting off that flight as well. Okay. Are we making money? We're really not. My maximum staff expenses right now are 42,000 on their own. My total at the end of the day, I think the brackets around it means that it's minus 18,000 as an estimate per day. That's kind of rough. That's pretty rough, to be completely honest. I wonder if we should maybe build another aircraft stand. I don't know. It's hard to know if I should, because here's the thing. If I build it now, then what I can do is obviously get more people through, and it might hurt security, but it should give me more money. And it's a fairly easy upgrade to do as well. Although I suppose what I could also do is go into operations and maybe increase the runway usage from 4 to 600 and terminal usage from 10 to 20. And if we save those prices, I mean, terminal usage is now doubled, and the cost of using the runway is up by 50%. So in theory, yeah, we're now making $4,600. So I think what we do is we go ahead and we expand and we get another aircraft stand. I just worry that security wouldn't be able to keep up. That's where my concern would be. That's the point I think we would have to build a dedicated security area, which we could do. If we took out this restroom, we could sort of have people get their tickets and go then sort of up through here into sort of a security space here and back out and down this way. So the air traffic control tower would need to be moved, but other than that, I think we'd be fine. So I think, yeah, I think we do another aircraft stand. I think that's going to let us make just a nice bit of money, to be completely honest. So if we go here, we could do remote stands. Remote stands would be very, very cool, but I don't know that it's necessary. So let's just go for a regular small stand right there. Let's go to ops down here, or structures, or whatever it is. Where am I looking here? Taxiway, right there. We're going to be needing some foundations as well for this entire space, which is $107,000. So very expensive to expand the airport like this, but probably worth it. And it's also going to give me a little bit of room for when I want to do the whole functioning kitchen and cafe thing, which I do want to do. So let me dismantle some things. Let's dismantle this, and let me demolish this, so that I can start getting people over into this new space. And we're actually going to have a really nice gap in here between the two desks. So I could probably get some coffee kiosks in there as well, which might just make us that little bit of money as well, which would be lovely. Okay, this little expansion actually turned out pretty well, I like to think. So let's go ahead and see what we can do in terms of getting some retail in here. Because we can go ahead and get something like a coffee kiosk, which could just sit nicely back there. We could get things like desserts as well. We've already got some vending machines over here, and they are very popular. We've also got health food kiosks. I feel like the big thing is the coffee one. I feel like the coffee kiosk is the one that we absolutely want in here. So I think that's probably what we're going to go for. Could get a pizza place. And I do like a good airport pizza. I'm not going to lie. That sounds really weird. That sounds, it's a really, really weird sentence. I do like a good airport pizza. It's true though. I do like a good airport pizza. A snack kiosk as well. I think coffee, even though it's not going to sit central and it is kind of large, I think the coffee kiosk is kind of what we need to go for. We could even, if I moved things around, I could put it right over there in the corner, which I'm very tempted to do. But I think central is probably the better place for it. So let's go ahead and slap a coffee kiosk right in there and see if it ends up being any good. I've never seen one of these things in SimAirport before, so I'm curious to see how it works. I assume I'm going to need a retail worker for it. I would imagine, absolutely. So let's go ahead and hire you. And we'll just see if it's, I mean, I imagine it's going to be busy given it's the only sort of retail place in the airport, right? So we have someone working there and we have absolutely no one going to it. Okay. That's a bit rough. Let's bring the profits down to maybe $5 per sale. Anyone can I change the profits in these things? Oh my God, I can. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Let me make these things. So they're making me a little bit of money. You are not though. Why are you making nothing? Does it need a queue? That's embarrassing. That's a little embarrassing. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The vending machines are just infinitely more popular than the coffee kiosk. All right. Are people just, I mean, they're bored more so than anything else. Their environment's not really amazing either. So, okay. Oh, it did make, I think it made a sale, right? No, it didn't. Okay, never mind. That's depressing. I was really hoping that my coffee kiosk would be successful, but it seems like it's not gonna be, which is a little upsetting, but that's okay. There are some other things we can do for the passengers, though. We can get them things like an arcade if we want to. That's going to help with passenger boredom. We could do a cafe, which is going to let them sort of sit down and chill. I wonder if that's, does this have to be, wait, deliveries happen at midnight by default? So has it not got any stock right now? Is that maybe what's up with it? So if I look at coffee kiosk, Requires a scheduled retail worker. So we have got the retail worker. Maybe it's just not had any deliveries. I've honestly got no, like coffee, 0%. Ah, that'll be why. Okay, that's fine. So we have to wait for this thing to actually get a delivery of coffee. That's all right. That's calmed me down a little bit, to be completely honest. I was a bit worried about what was going on, but we're okay. I think what I will do though is I might look into, maybe not in this episode, but I think the next episode we're gonna have to focus on getting rid of passenger boredom. And I think we're also probably going to look at getting the functional kitchen and cafe, although I don't know if it's going to make us any money. That's kind of my worry. I don't know if it's actually going to make us money, but I think that's what we're going to go into next and see if it does. I'm also realizing I'm an idiot. It's 1 in the morning and I should have scheduled some flights for this third stand. And because I didn't do that, they're not going to be coming in until tomorrow, but that's fine. Let's look for small flights. Let's take one from WestJet. Let's take one from Pacific. Let's take these 3 from Union Air as well. And let's just start scheduling these guys in here for that third aircraft stand, I suppose. So you guys are going to be all getting sort of staggered a little bit. I can change how long a terminal is sort of, or a stand is scheduled to be occupied by a plane. But for now, I'm not really going to bother doing that. I will take your 2 afternoon flights right there. And I will take one of your afternoon flights. And we'll take an evening flight from Lernyville Air, which is actually the tutorial airline. This airport that we're working in here, this default layout, is, I believe, referred to as the Lernyville Airport, which again is because we're learning. That's why it's Lernyville. But honestly, I think we're doing okay. I like this little layout that we've got here, to be honest. I like that we have the offices down here. We have this extra little bit of corridor that's for absolutely nothing. But it's kind of cool. I do kind of enjoy it. I like that we have the conference rooms and the sales reps and all that, and we are making money, I'm pretty sure. So if we have a bit of a look, okay, well, I don't have that. Profit and loss is, I think, yeah, so that's not terrible. I think we're making money, right? If I look at government grants here real quick, wasn't there one that was about actually making money? Yeah, there we go. So what is this? Hire a finance VP, research lower income tax 1, and pay off any loans. I will take that because I'm pretty sure to do that, we need to research VP of Finance. But honestly, lower taxes? That sounds like a pretty solid idea. Are you selling anything yet? You are. Okay, so people are actually buying coffee. I mean, a lot of them are still going to the vending machines, but they're also buying coffee. Look at this. Look at this little airport. Look at this right now. I'm really happy with this. Sorry, I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm really, really pleased with it. I'm also really enjoying learning how this game works. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this process. I thought I was going to be all grumpy and be like, I should know how this works. I played Airport CEO, but no, I'm really enjoying this. It's really fun.